What up, Brad here. So today we're going to talk about motivation. And too often I hear people say they either lack motivation, they lack the enthusiasm or passion to go towards something that they want. And the way that it sounds to me, they look at motivation like it's this pixie dust or something that's just totally ephemeral and fleeting, and they got to bottle up. Sometimes they have it, sometimes they don't, and they don't know when it comes or when it goes and how to create it. And I personally view motivation as it's actually a formula with 3 specific pieces. And when you're able to use these in the right way, channel them, stack on the right reframes, and we'll get into all 3 in a second here, it makes motivation basically autopilot. It makes it so it really adds jet fuel onto your goals where you're just inspired and you're compelled to take action. So we'll talk about how to use that jet fuel, get there as fast as possible, and be excited as you go along your journey. The first part of the equation is what I call momentum mastery. And what this comes into is you need to have confidence that you can actually achieve the goal. It's an aspect of life, no matter what, you're going to have challenges, you're going to have hurdles, something's going to get in your way, whether that be economy, whether that be a rejection from some girl, some guy getting in the way, an employee doing some bullshit in your company. There's always going to be stuff that you can't plan for, and it's your conviction and the confidence that you have to achieve that long-term vision of what you want that pushes you through the hard times. But if you can't even master your to-do list for the day, how are you going to have any confidence for your yearly goals? And so too often when I work with guys and we're working on these sort of annual goals or their 5 or 10-year goals, they think it's all just sort of positive affirmations and pie-in-the-sky dreams because they have no confidence that they've ever achieved a 1-year goal and actually set a deadline and hit it on time. So you got to build momentum mastery here. We're start off with that daily planner. Have 2 or 3 things, check those off the list. Have weekly goals. And after 2 to 3 weeks, once you're able to achieve those, stack on a little bit more, then you get into month-long goals. Tony Robbins has the quote where you always overestimate what you can do in a year and underestimate what you can do in 10 years. I think in the novice level, that's very true. But when you start stacking on those 1-year goals and you actually achieve them every year, you have a much more accurate idea of what you can accomplish. And those 1-year goals become like ironclad. The same thing as like a daily to-do list, but it takes discipline. And like I said, that momentum leads to then now you know exactly that 5-year goal and what you want to achieve, you're able to accomplish those. So start off small chunk, and build momentum. The second part is stacking on success. And what I mean by this is you want to reframe and stack on as many reframes as possible about a specific situation of what you want to accomplish and moving towards the vision that you want. Stack on as many reframes to compel you to basically take action. So an example of this was I was working with a guy who had what my friend Tim calls the day job of doom. So he hated his regular job. He had kind of a second business that he was starting or his own business on the side, but he felt that it was seeping all the time away, all of this during the day job. He was just seeping all the time away, so he couldn't do what he really wanted to. And through him taking some of my other programs, he had done a reframe where he said, okay, I see how there's certain skills that I'm developing in this day job, like accounting skills and some management stuff that I'm going to need to know anyways in my own business. So actually, I see that there's some benefit here, but I still don't feel excited to go into work. And so what he had done, he did a great job of reframing and saying, okay, this is not just some bullshit job that's a complete waste of time. There's things that I can learn here that ultimately will help me in the business that I want to create for myself and the skills that I need to acquire. And I said, you need to stack on the success. So come up with more and more reframes. Think about so some of the examples we had for him. There's a bunch of different ways you can reframe it. One is putting things in perspective. He was 25 years old. And I said for myself, or let's say Warren Buffett, didn't make his first million until he was 30, didn't make his first billion until he was in his 50s. Here you're 25 years old, dude. Be a little patient, take your time. You're gonna get there if you keep moving forward. Also, what skills are you gonna develop, even adding on more. He didn't really like how his boss was managing him in the corporate culture. So I said, hey, how is that gonna change when you have your own company? Think about the corporate culture that you can create. Take on more responsibilities now. Think about being more effective. If you can't master the day job and then doing what you got to do at night, how are you going to master a full-time, all the responsibility that goes from a company yourself and wearing all the different hats and everything like that? So by stacking on literally 15, 20, 30 different reframes now of him seeing that when he wakes up to go to work, he has 30 reasons to be there instead of just 2 and maybe paying his bills or something like that. All of a sudden now he's going to be a lot more excited and motivated to go in and do the job because he sees how it moves towards that long-term potential. And one last thing for stacking on success is that we have a meta strategy where some people are drawn towards, let's say, success, and some people are moving away from pain. So it's the pain and pleasure principle there. And so the more you can stack on both sides, or first off, see what you are. I think a lot of people in self-development, They're more moving towards the potential that they want and stuff like that, as opposed to some people are straight move away. They're saying, my childhood was so shitty, I will never go back to that. I was so poor growing up, I won't be successful, so I never have to worry about money again. And that's they're moving away from bad shit compared to, oh, this opportunity in the future and how my life is gonna be so much better. That's move forward. But when you can use both, what I like to do is look out into the future, the things that I'm compelled to achieve, and stack on as many reframes as possible, and then use the things that I don't want to push me away, and it kind of is like jet fuel to really push you towards your goals in a super effective way. So think about where you're at. Some people are more jazzed by the push away sort of stuff. Some people are more jazzed by compelled towards the future stuff. Incorporate both, and you can stack on even more goals or more reframes to really get you there and be as jazzed as possible on the way. And the last piece of the puzzle is channeling your primary focus. Your primary focus, this is your number one life value, and it's the thing that takes up about 80, 90% of your mental RAM, mental energy throughout the day. Maybe it's your career or your business, and you're thinking, oh, what's the next move in my business, blah, blah, blah. You think about that all the time. Maybe it's success with women. You're thinking, oh, what did that girl, when she said that last night, what could I have done differently to make that work better? And you're just surrounded in that world, immersing there. Or maybe it's in the gym, and you're thinking about diet and new workout routines. Whatever that primary focus is, what you want to do is take all the ancillary values, and then you channel them together. And when you're stacking on those reframes, you shove everything through that so it's channeled through that primary focus. So let's just use myself as an example here. My primary focus is business. So how can I use all my other life values to add even more jet fuel to make me more excited, more motivated to film this video or wake up in the morning and get to work, writing some sales copy or whatever it takes, whatever I need to do that day? Well, let's say a contribution is something that I really want. And by me doing more videos, I'm contributing back, I'm creating a bigger impact. And for me, it's all about that huge impact. That's a big aspect of why I do this. So that's contributions, sort of like life philosophy, some higher level stuff. What would be some other ones? Health. Well, yeah, me working a lot, I'm kind of skipping the gym here, but indirectly, the more success I have in my business, I can hire a damn trainer, or I have no issues eating the grass-fed beef or all the good meals and having the right supplements and everything like that. So indirectly, the more I work on the business and the better that gets, it's gonna incorporate more health. So that's boom, does that. So how about relationships? The more successful the business is, maybe I can hire on some friends, or I can work virtually and then I can go hang out with my friends in Europe and stuff like that because of the success of the company. So the harder I work, the more I'm able to take those trips or move the company abroad or bring them into my life or damn pay for the trip or whatever. Same thing, family. It's like I want to help out my family as much as I can. And the more success I have, now I'm thinking when I wake up in the morning, I'm not just thinking selfishly about, oh, how is me waking up? How many dollars am I going to make from this video or some shit? That's a very low level way of thinking about it. But when I channel every aspect of my life of how it affects my relationships, my girlfriend, my friends, my parents, my higher purpose of what I want to achieve in the long term, how my family and my own health and everything else, is just like you stack so much stuff on top of it that you're just so stoked, excited, jazzed, passionate, motivated, enthusiastic to do what you need to do. And it's very much a conscious process of me sitting down and saying, okay, this is what I want to achieve. How can I funnel as many things through that so the purpose is so strong that, like I said, it's on autopilot. Now, of course, it's not like I wake up and boop, all of a sudden I'm fully motivated, excited, and full of energy and ready to go. There's all sorts of rituals, habits, and different strategies that we'll get into over the next couple weeks to really hammer things home and stack on so many different techniques that success truly is inevitable. You just become that high achiever. You are motivated, you're enjoying the journey, and you're moving towards what you want in a more effective way. Don't have time for that here. What I'd love to have you do is try out this little trio of success, we'll call it the motivation formula, and let me know what you think. If you fall into it, you have any challenges along the way, have any questions about this, let me know in the comments below, and I'd love to either answer it there or in some future videos. Have a great weekend, and as always, enjoy.